Then I want to thank my club, all the people who work together with me, because believe me, it's not easy, and especially to the CEO of the club, Miguel Angel Gilmarin, for the confiance to push me until the first day. Thank you, Miguel Angel. Of course, a big special thanks goes to my family for the support and patience with me, because it's not easy. And today, if was the man yes, is thank you for my family. I'm very happy to work for, because for me it's the best club in the world in the short time as quickly in my life. Thanks again to everyone.
Arsenal have appointed Andrea Berta as their shiny new sporting director. So, what can we expect? According to The Athletic, at Atletico Madrid, Andrea Berta had a say in overall squad planning, managed the scouting network, worked with agents, and ensured Atletico stayed within strict financial rules, while Simeone pushed for specific players. In terms of the potential translation to Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, so far, so good. Berta's big test this summer will be helping to bring at least one high-profile forward to the club. But that's somewhere where Berta excels, already responsible for signing plenty of high-profile attackers for Atletico Madrid. Beyond that, he'll look to continue the recent success of Arsenal's academy, sort out key contracts for the likes of William Saliba and Bukayo Saka, and ensure that Arsenal improve their selling record. With several key players leaving Arsenal for free in recent years, and our record ever departure at just 38 million euros, it's up to Berta to prove he has what it takes. Check out The Different Knock on YouTube for more.
With Andrea Berta expected to be announced as Arsenal's new sporting director in the next couple of days, many will be asking, what can they expect from the Italian? Now, Andrea Berta has got big shoes to fill, taking over from Edu, who has, turned things around at Arsenal following a few, poor seasons and a poor recruitment in some ways. And he managed to, build a squad that has been challenging for trophies. In any case, I don't expect Arsenal to win trophies, but he's turned it around nonetheless. And Berta has a very good track record, following his time at Atletico Madrid. If you look at the success he's brought in, he's kept them competitive against, the financial might of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Had a huge hand in winning 2 La Ligas, as well as a Europa League as well in there. He's also had 2 Champions League finals to include in that. He also has made some very shrewd business. Not all of them have been perfect, but that's the same for anybody in this role. Major notable signings include, Julian Alvarez, Kieran Trippier, absolutely, Griezmann twice, Jan Oblak, for example, and also getting some good money for those players too. And I think one thing Arsenal have a poor track record in is maximising value of players that are leaving. There was a big issue of, letting players go for free, running down contracts. Now's the time, to make the club more financial returns for their players. But he also has a big summer ahead, because Arsenal can't afford to get this wrong. Even though I don't believe Arteta is the man to take Arsenal to that step forward, they still can't afford to get it wrong. I expect them to be going for strikers. Again, he's had excellent record in that department. Again, mentioning Julian Alvarez in one of those. And it looks like that's one of the reasons he's being brought in for that. He also has to help tie down players on contracts. Saka is one of them. Gabriel is another. I expect Saliba to leave for Real Madrid, but he needs to play a role in extracting maximum value for Saliba. So it's a very big few months ahead for Arsenal, because they blew it this season. They had a great opportunity this season with how poor most of the teams have been. And they also, will have much more of a challenge next season, because we expect United to turn it around. Newcastle expect to be up there as well. Man City should be better. Liverpool, we should still expect to be there regardless. Chelsea should improve themselves. And with Tottenham's expected Qatari investment coming in the summer, they will have an early boost, which should get them in there as well. So it's big for Arsenal and Berta, and they can't afford to get it wrong, which adds to the pressure of his role. But it will be interesting to see what he does nonetheless. What do you think, Arsenal fans? Are you excited by this appointment? Do you think it's the right appointment? And Atletico fans, if you do follow this channel, what do you think? Is he a huge loss? Many would argue he probably is. Sporting directors of a good stature are very hard to find in this game. So be interesting to see how they get on with this. But yeah, what do you think? Leave your comments in, and of course, always tune into Lost in Possession podcast.
Arsenal are, please the heavenly Lord above, going to invest heavily in their forward areas this summer. And Atletico Madrid, historically and under Berta, know how to do that. going back with Forlan, Aguero, Torres, Falcao and so on, and more contemporarily with Diego Costa, Antoine Griezmann, Diogo Jota, Rodrigo de Paul, Mateusz Cunha, Samu Adjahoua, now at Porto, a player they identified too.
Our Premier League insider David Ornstein joins us live now from the Theatre of Dreams. And we'll start with Arsenal and some breaking news, David, that you broke yourself last night. They've been doing some recruitment upstairs.
Yes, Arsenal, Rebecca, have been looking for a new sporting director since Edu Gaspar resigned in November. They've conducted what they believe to be a thorough, diligent, exhaustive process in which they've looked at multiple candidates, and the standout, the top choice for them was Andrea Berta, formerly of Atletico Madrid. They have reached an agreement with him to take over in the role, and they're now in the process of finalising contracts with him. As soon as that is done, I would expect him to start, and this is a really big moment for Arsenal because of the size of that role. He was among a wide range of options, it's fair to say. They included Jason Ato, who's been occupying the role on an interim basis, and it will be interesting to see what happens for him next. Does he stay or does he potentially depart? Dan Ashworth, formerly of this parish, Thiago Scuro at Monaco, Roberto Olabe at Real Sociedad, and I'm sure more were evaluated as part of a process that was led by the managing director, Richard Garlick, by Tim Lewis, the executive vice chair. Josh Kroenke, on behalf of the ownership, was involved throughout, and Mikel Arteta inputted into this massive call as well. Andrea Berta is 53 years old. He's Italian. He's vastly experienced, and I'm sure he'll work heavily on recruitment, which is the area that all Arsenal fans are focusing on at the moment. Arsenal in the summer are going to have a big window. I'm sure they're looking to sign a striker. They would really like to do a deal for Alexander Isak. Whether that's going to be possible, we'll have to wait and see. They've done a lot of work on Benjamin Sesko of RB Leipzig too. When you go into midfield, they're hoping to complete a deal for Martin Zubimendi, with Jorginho and Thomas Partey quite possibly leaving. There's work to do at left back because they'll see Kieran Tierney go, maybe Zinchenko as well. They'll need a second choice goalkeeper. They may need a third choice goalkeeper, and it will be the role of Andrea Berta to oversee all of that. Their finances are in good shape, and he'll have to work very closely with Mikel Arteta as manager to deliver, because Arsenal fans don't want to just be competing now, they want to be winning trophies.
Now we can pretty much say that the season is completely over. Obviously we're still in UCL, but you know, games like the Man United game, you can just see we're lacking so much, especially in that attacking era. Even when we get Bukayo Saka back, I just don't think it will be enough to go and win this competition. But one bit of good news this season is this man right here choosing Arsenal Football Club. Now, Sky Sports actually reported that there was interest from United, PSG and other top clubs, so Arsenal actually getting his signature is really key. Now, I saw this tweet and it actually got my hopes up a little bit. As you can see, Atletico needed a striker. He got them a striker. They won the league. Again, needed a striker in 2020, signed Suarez, they won the league. 2025, obviously we need a striker. We'll see if we can win the league. Hopefully, you know, we finished 3 years in second place. We need something. But honestly, I think this is a really good sign from Arsenal Football Club. Pretty sure he's starting immediately as well. So I'm honestly excited for what next season brings. I know people are going to say next season FC, whatever. This is the situation that we really need to get a hold of. Saka, 2027, get him on a new contract. Saliba, I don't know what's happening there. Look at all of these important players here that are all going in 2027. I know that seems like a long time away, but it's literally only 2 years. But anyway, guys, what do you lot think of this guy being our sporting director? I think it's a really good sign, and I look forward to next season.